Welcome to WT History. In this series, we list all the major events that happened in the world in a year, starting from 1776 to 2024. On April 5th, during the Reign of Terror, revolutionary leaders Georges Danton and Camille Desmoulins were executed by guillotine. Both had initially driven the French Revolution, but later criticized its excessive violence, advocating for moderation. Their opposition to Maximilien Robespierre and the radical Jacobins led to charges of conspiracy and a swift trial. Danton's defiant last words, "Show my head to the people, it will be worth seeing," highlighted the tragic irony of revolutionaries being consumed by the movement they helped create. From April 29th to May 1st, the French achieve a significant victory at the Battle of Boulou, defeating Spanish and Portuguese forces. This strengthens France's position in the Pyrenees region. On May 7th, Robespierre establishes the cult of the Supreme Being as the new state religion of the French First Republic. This move reflects the revolution's attempt to replace traditional Catholicism with a deistic revolutionary ideology. May 8th brings a great loss to science. Antoine Lavoisier, the father of modern chemistry, is executed alongside 27 others associated with the hated Ferme General tax agency. As mathematician Lagrange lamented, it took only an instant to cut off his head, but France may not produce another like it in a century. 2 days later, on May 10th, Elizabeth of France, sister of King Louis XVI, is executed. Known for her piety and loyalty to the monarchy, her death underscores the revolution's brutal targeting of the aristocracy. On May 18th, French troops defeat British forces at the Battle of Tourcoing, further solidifying France's military strength in the region. May 21st sees the French revolutionary government centralize the Reign of Terror. Almost all provincial tribunals are closed, and trials are now held exclusively in Paris, intensifying the atmosphere of fear and control. From May 28th to June 1st, the British win a tactical victory over the French fleet at the Battle of Ushant, known as the Glorious 1st of June. However, the French merchant convoy they were escorting arrived safely, making it a strategic draw. During the same period, British troops capture Port-au-Prince in Haiti from the French, marking a significant shift in the Caribbean colonial struggle. On June 17th, the Anglo-Corsican kingdom is established, as Britain gains control of Corsica, further challenging French influence in the Mediterranean. Also on June 17th, the British Royal Navy captures the French frigate Sibylle at the Battle of Mykonos, showcasing British naval dominance. June 26th marks a decisive French victory at the Battle of Fleurus. The French defeat Austrian and Allied forces, leading to the permanent loss of the Austrian Netherlands and the collapse of the Dutch Republic. Notably, this battle features the first use of an observation balloon in warfare, a groundbreaking moment in military history. On July 12th, British naval hero Horatio Nelson loses the sight in his right eye during the siege of Calvi in Corsica, a reminder of the personal sacrifices made in these conflicts. July 17th brings another tragic execution. The 16 Carmelite martyrs of Compiègne are guillotined for refusing to renounce their faith. Their courage and hymns on the scaffold inspire future generations, and they are beatified in 1906. On July 27th, the Thermidorian reaction unfolds. Robespierre, his brother Augustin, and Louis-Antoine de Saint-Just are arrested by the French National Convention after losing support for their radical policies and the excessive violence. They were executed by guillotine the next day, marking the end of the Reign of Terror and the decline of radical Jacobin influence, beginning a more moderate phase in the revolution. On August 9th, a young Napoleon Bonaparte is arrested and placed under house arrest in Nice for his association with the fallen Robespierres. He is later taken to Antibes and detained in a military fort. Finally, on November 20th, the Battle of Saint-Laurent-de-la-Muga is fought between French and Spanish forces, another chapter in the ongoing conflict along the French-Spanish border. Before moving to America, please consider subscribing if you are liking the series. All right, carrying on. Meanwhile, in the United States, March 27th marked a milestone for American naval power. The U.S. government authorizes the construction of the first 6 Navy vessels. By 1797, the first 3 frigates, United States, Constellation, and Constitution, will set sail, laying the foundation for a strong maritime force. On June 24th, Bowdoin College is founded in Brunswick, Maine. August 20th sees a decisive military victory at the Battle of Fallen Timbers in northwestern Ohio. General Anthony Wayne, nicknamed Mad Anthony, leads American troops to defeat the Native American tribes of the Western Confederacy. This battle opens the Northwest Territory for American settlement. On September 10th, the University of Tennessee is established in Knoxville. October 4th marks a historic moment. President George Washington leads U.S. troops to suppress the Whiskey Rebellion in Pennsylvania. This is the only time an incumbent U.S. president commands an army in the field. The rebellion collapses by the end of the month, reinforcing federal authority. On October 22nd, Fort Wayne is founded in what is now Indiana. This fort becomes a key outpost in the Northwest Territory, symbolizing American expansion. November 19th brings a diplomatic breakthrough. The U.S. and Great Britain sign the Jay Treaty, resolving post-Revolutionary War tensions. Britain agrees to evacuate forts in the Northwest Territory and cease support for Native American tribes. Finally, on December 8th, tragedy strikes New Orleans. The Great New Orleans Fire burns over 200 buildings in the French Quarter, devastating the city, but also paving the way for its rebuilding and growth. Over in Poland, on March 24th, Tadeusz Kościuszko, a national hero, issues a proclamation in Krakow calling for an uprising against the Russian Empire and the Kingdom of Prussia. This marks the start of the Kościuszko Uprising, a bold attempt to restore Polish independence and sovereignty. On April 4th, the uprising gains momentum with the Battle of Rakowicz. Kościuszko leads Polish forces, including peasant soldiers armed with scythes, to a stunning victory over the Russian army. This triumph boosts morale and inspires widespread support for the rebellion. From April 17th to 19th, the uprising spreads to Warsaw. The Polish people rise up and overthrow the Russian garrison in the city, securing control of the capital. This victory demonstrates the strength of the rebellion and the determination of the Polish people. By mid-July, the tide begins to turn. Russian and Prussian forces lay siege to Warsaw, aiming to crush the rebellion. For nearly 2 months, from July 13th to September 6th, the Polish people resist fiercely, defending their city against overwhelming odds. On October 10th, the rebellion faces a devastating blow at the Battle of Maciejowice. Kościuszko's forces are defeated by the Russian army, and Kościuszko himself is wounded and captured. His capture leaves the uprising without its charismatic leader, dealing a severe setback to the Polish cause. November 4th brings one of the darkest moments of the uprising. Russian General Alexander Suvorov storms Warsaw, capturing the suburb of Praga. The battle turns into a massacre with thousands of civilians killed. This brutal event shocks the nation and weakens the rebellion's resolve. Finally, on November 16th, the Kościuszko uprising comes to an end. With Kościuszko imprisoned and Polish forces defeated, the rebellion collapses. This marks the end of Poland's last major attempt to regain independence before its final partition in 1795. On February 8th, the wreck of the 10 Sail occurs off the coast of Grand Cayman. A convoy of 10 British ships runs aground on the reef, leading to one of the most famous maritime disasters in the region. On April 28th, the Sardinian Vespers uprising begins. The people of Cagliari rise against the viceroy and his Piedmontese officials, demanding greater autonomy and an end to oppressive policies. From June to July, Mount Vesuvius in Italy erupts violently. The town of Torre del Greco is devastated, buried under lava and ash. On August 29th, Stonyhurst College is officially established as a Roman Catholic school in Lancashire. After moving across several European locations due to religious persecution, the school finds a permanent home in England. Finally, in Scotland, the Oban Distillery is built. This distillery becomes a landmark in the world of Scotch whisky, producing some of the finest single malts and contributing to Scotland's rich cultural heritage. Thanks for joining us on this journey through history. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video.